So, Felix was lost. Finally, he looked behind him and ahead of him. To his delight, he found no trees he recognized, no bushes that resembled any bushes he'd seen, and no trails that pointed away. Now, all he needed was a stick. There we are. You see, for Felix, being lost meant that wherever he was new and exciting. It also meant that he mustn't have known the previous place as well as he thought, because now he had no idea how to get back there. This wasn't at all a problem. In fact, you wouldn't find someone more at peace than him while utterly lost. He had his stick, and he had his backpack. That was all he needed. Invariably, he would stumble into the trail back home, so there were no worries to be had. Well, at least not yet. Felix walked the mountainside until he became a familiar friend. It certainly took him many days, and there was no better place to be. There was once a time when Felix was scared of the unfamiliar, the trailless places. That changed when he became truly lost. In that moment, it felt like he was given an opportunity to simply realize he was not nowhere. He was still somewhere. That place was called here. Before he was here, the trees and the bushes were here. The flora and the fauna before concrete and industry. The trails before the roads and stars before the maps. Here has always existed, and becoming lost was an invitation to know this new place, to listen to it and learn from it. After Felix realized that, it soon became a pleasure to be lost. Though, on a particular morning, he was startled awake by a bird. Not any bird. A raven by the name of Genevieve. If you were to be familiar with Genevieve, you would feel very fortunate to see her in this forest, especially if you were lost. Of course, Felix didn't know Genevieve, not yet, so for him she was just an odd raven with a hooked beak. Oh, I beg your pardon, Ginny. I meant a charming raven with a unique beak. You're very welcome. Nevertheless, Genevieve was making the most amount of fuss a bird could possibly manage. To her merit, getting lost for fun was a very irresponsible thing to do in this particular forest, and she was doing her best to alert Felix. But he didn't speak Raven, did he, Genevieve? Well, at least not yet for sure. Still, Felix stepped out of his tent to give his best go at communicating. He asked Ginny what she needed and what was wrong. Fortunately, Ginny still remembered English amongst a few other languages from her previous work experience, but her vocal cords were quite stiff, and the only words she managed were danger, danger, run away. I myself think Genevieve was a bit theatrical here. What's the worst that could happen? Well, I'm not saying it's not dangerous. Well, yes, but it's not like he wouldn't see it. Okay, that's very graphic. I didn't need that much detail, Ginny. Oh, thank you. In any case, it was a good thing that Felix thought best to listen to the raven. So he packed up his camp, stamped out the embers, and departed towards the trail back home. Though there was one problem that stayed unaccounted for. The forest was listening. And so he decided it was actually best for Felix to stick around for a little while longer. This is something that occurs quite often around here, as far as my record keeping tells me. There. A court of fairies and forest spirits got vexed with an explorer a long time ago, and now they love playing tricks on human hikers by swapping the trails in the sky and the winds. I don't believe Genevieve noticed this time because in the end, they arrived at the exact place she was hoping to avoid. There it was. A large manor made of brick and stone, lost in the horizon, surrounded by a vast, untrimmed, and unmaintained maze of hedges. The only words out of Genevieve's beak were, "Well, fudge." Welcome, friends, to the HedgeMaze Hotel. The HedgeMaze Hotel is a collection of far-fetched and courageous accounts of the silly and heartfelt variety. If you ever find yourself lost, remember, you might just be at the edge of something new. Thanks for listening, and I really do hope you enjoy the journey ahead.